One of my favorite things to do at the moment is to create non-alcoholic drinks that taste and feel like cocktails. These iced teas are a perfect example of that, but they're not your usual run-of-the-mill iced tea. They're full of flavor, they've got the most amazing textures, and they can easily be scaled up to make a bigger batch in a jug for you and lots of your friends. The base recipe I'm going to show you today is very much a template, easy to experiment with and to adapt to hit your favorite flavor profiles and taste preferences. And with the sun out, everyone feels a bit better about themselves. These drinks are going to be perfect. So let's make some delicious iced teas. Okay, welcome back everybody. If you've been here before, you'll know this channel's usually all about coffee and cocktails, but we're broadening our horizons, exploring some new flavors and ingredients, and today we're going to be starting with the most delicious iced tea. And without being too cynical, I actually don't even usually like iced tea. I find it really watery, thin, sometimes overly sweet, sometimes undersweet, off balance, and just not a great drink. But these drinks, I absolutely love. And I've been making this variation of the iced tea for over 10 years now. Without fail, everyone who's tried it has been really happy with the results, so I'm really excited to share it with you guys. And I don't know how it's taken so long to share with you, so apologies. But here we go today. So it's a very simple template. You can use any tea, you can use lots of different forms of acidity, you can use lots of different forms of sweetener, and there's lots of ingredients you can add to it to kind of riff and create your own perfect flavor profile. Today I'm going to show you some of my favorites, but you guys can experiment with this and come up with your own creations. First of all, I'll show you the base recipe, showing you a classic iced tea, followed by a delicious peach iced tea, and then finishing off, showing you how you can scale it up to make the most refreshing and summery drink, which is going to be an elderflower and mint iced green tea. These are all fantastic, all quite different to each other, but they all follow that same base recipe, which I'm going to share with you now. First of all, we need to brew our tea. Whatever tea you go for is going to have a big impact on the flavor profile of the drink, so just bear that in mind. Choose a good quality tea. I'm going with a loose leaf Earl Grey tea here, but you can use any tea. You can use loose leaf, you can use bags. Whatever you use, you just want to make sure you brew your tea nice and strong. So I tend to go with 3 grams of tea to 100 grams of hot water. As with any tea, make sure you choose the right brewing temperature for the tea. But one thing to note here is, in these drinks in particular, I'm actually not scared of overbrewing the tea. If there's some bitterness, if there's some astringency, that almost adds to the kind of boozy feel of the drink. And because we're adding acidity, sweetness, you're not really going to notice any unpleasant bitterness because it's going to be balanced out and complemented by those other taste groups which we're adding. So I'm going to go in with this. This can just sit to one side. To steep, to brew, you ideally want this to be strongly brewed, so leave it in there for at least 3 minutes. Maybe just give it a little swirl every now and then to increase the extraction of flavor. So there are many different ways to build this drink, depending on the texture you want to achieve. For our classic, I'm going to be shaking the drink because I want to foam it up and almost feel like a sour style cocktail. But you can build this straight in the glass, you can build it straight in a jug. Whatever you want to do can work really, really nicely, and I'll talk more about that later. So into our shaker, we're going to go with 25 mils of freshly squeezed lemon juice. But don't be just limited to lemon juice. You could use lime juice. You could use an acid adjusted juice, which I'll talk about in this video. Or you could even use the acid booster, which I'll talk about in this video, both of which I'll link in the description below so you can watch them later. Any form of acidity is going to work really nicely as long as you pair it well with the other ingredients. And then similarly with our sweetener, you want to go with 20 mils this time. And this could be pure cane sugar from Monin, which I'm using here, or it could be a flavored syrup, which will bring a slightly different accent to the drink. So keeping things simple, letting the tea do the talking. Cane sugar is fine because it's really neutral. This is equivalent in sweetness to around about a 2-to-1 syrup, and all the Monin range are equivalent to that level of sweetness. So you can sub one in, sub one out to hit any flavor profile, which is really handy to have. This is obviously a really nice simple base, but you can add different flavor modifiers here. Things like fresh fruit, herbs work really nicely, and different juices. Or you could even top the drink at the end with something sparkling, which we'll do in the last recipe. So add to this, adapt it, bring in your own flavors, and there's so much you can work with here. Now our tea's been steeping for a few minutes. Give it one last little swirl to encourage all that flavor through. Fine strain out the leaves, or you can just remove the bags if you're using bags. Just make sure you use good quality bags, and obviously good quality tea. As a little zero waste hack, save your spent leaves. Save your peels from any citrus fruit that you use, and you can make a saccharin from these, which is a really useful ingredient to have. For this version, we're going to shake the drink really hard with lots of ice. fine strain it into a frozen glass with a big rock of ice in there. And then I like to garnish it with an orange peel, which gives that really nice aroma to the drink. Every time I make this drink, I forget how great the texture is. It's got that really nice level of foam. It looks like a whiskey sour, but it tastes quite different. It's so complex. Tea is right bang front and center. The funny thing about this drink is, without fail, every single time I've made it, over the last 10 plus years, every single person who's tried it has complimented the really nice fresh orange flavor, and it doesn't contain orange. The only orange is that little aroma on top of the drink in the garnish. I think it tricks the mind. The flavor of the tea, the sugar and the lemon come together to create that kind of orangey flavor, but obviously it doesn't contain any. So give this a try, and I think you'll be surprised by how orangey and delicious it is. I was actually tempted to add some butterbean aquafaba to this, but actually it really doesn't need it. It's got that incredible texture. Looks like a cocktail, feels like a cocktail, tastes like a cocktail to me, and I think it's a real treat. So give that one a try, but this is just the starting point. You can experiment with this infinitely. One of my favorites is the classic peach iced tea. And again, really simple, follows that same formula. This time we're gonna be using black tea rather than Earl Grey. Go with 3 grams again to 100 grams of boiling water. While that steeps, add 25 mils of lemon juice, 20 mils of Monin white peach syrup, which has got bags of that delicious peachy flavor. Strain in your tea, shake it again really hard, fine straining out any shards of ice. Garnish it with a slice of peach, and this is a really nice variation on the classic iced tea, with loads of peach flavor coming through, which ties in really nicely with the black tea at the core. If you want to make more iced tea, scale it up for your friends or a crowd. Again, really simple to do. Do it in a jug or a big carafe, and we're just gonna multiply the recipe by 3 this time. So for our jug of elderflower and mint iced green tea, obviously this is a green tea base, starting with some nice mint leaves. I'm gonna use lime juice rather than lemon juice. And because we're scaling this up 3 times, we're gonna go 75 mils. We're gonna go 60 mils of Monin elderflower syrup for that really nice floral sweetness. Add in our 300 mils of strong green tea, which is brewed from 9 grams of tea leaves. And then top that up with some sparkling water for that really nice fizzy and effervescent texture. Give it a mix together, serve it over lots of ice, and there you have the most delicious elderflower and mint iced green tea. This really is just a starting point and a springboard into the huge world of delicious iced teas out there. The huge range of syrups from Monin give you so much room for experimentation. Try it with different teas, different forms of acidity, different flavor modifiers, and let me know what you come up with. So pop the drinks you come up with in the comments below. I really hope you've enjoyed experimenting with iced teas. Hope you enjoy what you come up with. And if you've enjoyed this, you can click on this playlist, which is lots more non-alcoholic content from the channel. You can also click here to subscribe to the channel, which I really hope you do. Helps these videos be seen by more people, which helps me, and hopefully it helps you see more content like this, which I really hope you find value in. So thank you to Monin for sponsoring this video. Thanks to you guys for watching, and enjoy some fantastic iced tea. Cheers.